Are you tired of trying to manifest your dreams only to feel exhausted? What if the key isn't in the effort, but in becoming a resonant field for the reality you desire? Prepare yourself. We're about to unravel how magnetic knowing, a profound concept from Manly P. Hall, combined with the cosmic vision of Walter Russell and the practical genius of Neville Goddard, offers a revolutionary path to manifestation, one that prioritizes being overdoing. Have you ever wondered if there's a specific frequency for your desires and how to truly tune into it? Many of us have walked this path, haven't we? The path of earnest seeking, of diligently applying affirmations, crafting vision boards, engaging in intricate visualizations. Yet, despite our sincere efforts, the results often feel inconsistent, sometimes entirely elusive. This can lead to a particular kind of weariness, a manifestation fatigue, where the initial spark of hope begins to dim under the weight of perceived failure or the gnawing feeling that perhaps we're just doing it wrong. There's a subtle, pervasive belief in our culture, isn't there, that more effort, more complexity, more mental exertion must surely lead to greater outcomes. We are often encouraged to try harder. But what if, in the realm of conscious creation, this more is better approach is a fundamental misunderstanding? What if the very intensity of our striving, the sheer volume of techniques we layer upon each other, inadvertently creates a kind of internal static, a noise that obscures the very signal we're trying to send and receive? Consider this. Could it be that the true challenge lies not in the quantity of our efforts, but in the quality of our internal state? That the most potent form of creation arises not from a place of agitated doing, but from a profound and aligned state of being. This naturally leads us to a deeper inquiry, one that has echoed through the halls of wisdom for ages. Did the great masters, those who spoke of our innate power to shape reality, understand a fundamental state of being that precedes and indeed empowers any outward technique? A state that, once cultivated, makes the process of manifestation less of a struggle and more of a natural unfolding. And here perhaps lies a pivotal insight, a gentle turning of the key. Many diligently pursue the how of manifestation, the specific steps and rituals. But the true secret, the one whispered by the sages, might reside in the who you are being while you hold your desire. It is perhaps less about meticulously sending out signals, and more about becoming the very signal itself, a clear and unwavering beacon of your intended reality. To illuminate this path, we turn to the insightful work of Manly P. Hall, a scholar revered for his ability to distill ancient wisdom into accessible understanding. He introduced a crucial distinction, one that can fundamentally alter our approach to creation, the difference between what he termed electric thinking and magnetic knowing. Let's first explore this concept of electric thinking. Imagine, if you will, a lightning storm within the mind, brilliant, certainly full of sudden flashes of ideas, analyses, and often anxieties. This is the nature of electric thinking. It is active, it is projective, it is constantly seeking, questioning, and often reacting. It can feel like a mental pinball machine, with thoughts ricocheting in response to external stimuli, internal doubts, or the sheer pressure to figure things out. In the context of manifestation, this electric thinking often translates into a kind of tense effort. It's the state of mind that rigorously analyzes every angle, that tries to force outcomes through sheer willpower, that is often riddled with underlying doubts masquerading as being realistic. It's the energy of constantly needing to do something more to make your desire happen, a feeling akin to pushing a heavy boulder uphill. Have you ever found yourself repeating affirmations, your words full of positive intent, while a knot of anxiety tightens in your stomach? Or perhaps you visualized your desire with intense focus, only to be ambushed moments later by a cascade of, "What if it doesn't work?" thoughts. This is the signature of electric thinking. Why does this mode of thought so often impede our creative efforts? Because, in essence, it generates a field of energetic static. It's a cacophony of mixed frequencies, hope mingled with fear, desire intertwined with doubt. It is like trying to tune into a delicate radio frequency amidst a great deal of interference. The clear music of your intended reality, the signal you wish to receive, simply cannot get through the noise. This electric, often agitated state inadvertently broadcasts a vibration of struggle, of lack, of needing, rather than a clear, coherent signal of having. If this electric thinking is akin to static, a kind of short circuit in our creative wiring that prevents a clear and powerful connection, then what, according to Hall, is the alternative? What is the fine-tuning required for a crystal-clear reception of our desires? The alternative Hall proposed is what he termed magnetic knowing. Picture, for a moment, the immense and silent gravitational field of a star. It makes no clamor, it exerts no visible effort, yet its very presence organizes, holds, and draws everything within its sphere of influence. This is the essence of magnetic knowing. It is a state of profound, quiet, and unshakable inner conviction. It's a certainty that resides deep within, a still point of the turning world, as the poet T.S. Eliot might say. In the landscape of manifestation, magnetic knowing is that state of consciousness where your desire is no longer a distant hope to be chased, but an acknowledged, internally experienced truth. It doesn't arise from an accumulation of external proofs or logical arguments, but from a deep, resonant integration within your being. Consider the accounts of great inventors, individuals like Nikola Tesla, who often described receiving complete, detailed visions of their inventions, operating from a profound, almost precognitive knowing of their functionality long before any physical prototype existed. They didn't just believe, they knew with a certainty that transcended mere intellectual assent. This inner conviction, this magnetic knowing, often appears to be a direct line to that universal source of inspiration and insight, that wellspring from which all true creation flows. How then does this state of knowing attract? It transforms your entire being into a specific, coherent, resonant field for your desire. There is no forcing, no chasing, no anxious striving. Instead, there is an allowing, a powerful drawing in that operates through the natural laws of consciousness and vibration. You become the center of attraction rather than the seeker. And here we touch upon a subtle yet profound truth. This magnetic knowing is not about an arrogant assertion of will, nor is it a denial of present challenges. It is, as the ancient sages might have described, a profound alignment with the inherent order of the cosmos, a deep listening to the subtle currents of universal intelligence. Think of it not as a spotlight, darting frantically in the darkness, searching for what it desires. Rather, picture magnetic knowing as an inner sun. When this sun radiates the unwavering light of your fulfilled desire, it naturally, effortlessly illuminates and draws towards you the circumstances, the opportunities, the very experiences that resonate with its particular luminescence. There is no pursuit. There is only radiation and the inevitable magnetic attraction. This knowing feels intuitively true, doesn't it? It speaks to a deeper wisdom within us. But how does the very architecture of the cosmos itself, as envisioned by some of the most profound seers of our time, reflect and support this idea of an inner magnetism, this dynamic of silent attraction and effortless radiation? To explore this cosmic architecture, we now turn to the extraordinary work of Walter Russell. He was a true Renaissance man of modern America, a gifted scientist, a renowned artist, an accomplished architect, and a profound philosopher. His body of work offers a breathtakingly unified vision of science and spirituality, born from what he described as moments of intense illumination, where he was able to directly perceive the underlying structure of the universe. At the heart of Russell's cosmology lies a powerful and elegant concept. The universe is, in its entirety, a rhythmic and balanced expression of the one universal mind, the thinking mind of God. Everything we perceive, all matter, all form, is composed of light, or more precisely, energy, in dynamic, ceaseless motion. This light, he explained, moves in two fundamental, opposing yet complementary directions: gravitation, the inward, contracting, integrating force, and radiation, the outward, expanding, disintegrating force. It is the constant rhythmic interchange between these two energetic expressions that creates all phenomena, from the smallest atom to the vastest galaxy. Now, how does our earlier concept of electric thinking fit into this cosmic dance, according to Russell? Electric thinking, with its scattered focus, its anxious projections, its expenditure of energy without a calm, centered core, corresponds to an overemphasis on the radiative aspect of this universal process. It's like an outpouring of energy, of thought waves that lacks the balancing pull of gravitation, the integrating force of inner certainty, of knowing. This, Russell would suggest, creates an inherent imbalance within our personal energetic system, an imbalance that mirrors, on a smaller scale, the cosmic principle of unbalanced energy leading to instability and disharmony. Imagine, if you will, Russell's universe as a vast, vibrant cosmic ocean. Our electric thoughts, in this analogy, are like choppy, agitated waves on the surface. They possess energy, certainly, but they are often erratic, lacking the profound depth, the coherent direction, and the immense power of the great underlying ocean currents which are governed by these balanced cosmic forces. It is a testament to the depth of Russell's knowing that, based on his unique understanding of atomic structure and these universal laws of rhythmic balanced interchange, he accurately predicted the existence and some of the key properties of elements like deuterium and tritium years before they were officially discovered and isolated by mainstream science. This wasn't mere guesswork. It was a demonstration of a profound internal attunement to the fundamental principles governing the cosmos. If then, the universe, according to Walter Russell, operates through this constant balanced flux and reflux of energy, this divine interplay of gravitation and radiation, how does our concept of magnetic knowing allow us to consciously align with this magnificent creative pulse of all existence? In Walter Russell's grand vision of the cosmos, magnetic knowing finds its perfect counterpart in the concept of the gravitational center. This is the point of absolute stillness, the fulcrum, the very heart around which the dynamic dance of radiation and gravitation, of expression and integration, eternally revolves. It is not an empty stillness, but a stillness pregnant with all potential, the serene axis of power from which all balanced and harmonious creation springs forth. Russell taught that the universe is not merely seeking balance, but that it is, in its very essence, a manifestation of perfect, rhythmic, balanced interchange. Magnetic knowing, then, can be understood as our conscious internal alignment with this supreme fundamental law of balance. It is the act of finding our own still point, our own center of gravity within the ceaseless flow of universal energy. When we achieve this internal equilibrium, we allow the creative energies of the cosmos to move through us constructively, coherently, and with immense power. This aligns deeply with the metaphysical understanding that our inner state shapes our outer experience. From this perspective, manifestations that arise from such a centered state of knowing are not fleeting lucky breaks or mere coincidences. Instead, they are natural, sustainable, and harmonious expressions of our deep alignment with the very operating principles of the universe, with the inherent meaning and purpose woven into the fabric of life. They are the outward reflection of an inward balance. Consider this metaphor. In Russell's cosmic model, magnetic knowing is like the serene eye of a hurricane, while the electric thinking represents the chaotic fury and the crushing power of the storm's outer bands. The knowing is that central point of profound calm and deceptive stillness. Yet, it is from this very eye, this point of perfect equilibrium, that the entire immense power and directional force of the storm system is in truth governed and maintained. And here we find a profound insight from Russell himself, a guiding light for our journey. Genius, he once wrote, is self-bestowed, and is bestowed by desire, until that desire is fulfilled by the comprehension of the unity of all effect. This comprehension of the unity of all effect, this deep intuitive grasp of the interconnectedness and balance of all things, this is magnetic knowing. It is the precise point where striving ceases, where the effortful push of electric thinking dissolves, and a profound resonance with universal law begins. How, then, can we actively, consciously cultivate this state of internal resonance, this feeling of being truly aligned with our desires? To bridge the gap between cosmic understanding and tangible practice, we now turn to the transformative teachings of Neville Goddard. A highly influential mystic and lecturer of the mid-20th century, Neville's work shines a brilliant light on the immense creative power of human imagination and, most crucially, of deeply felt emotion. At the very core of Neville's practical mysticism lies the famous assertion, "Feeling is the secret." This is a deceptively simple statement, yet it holds a universe of meaning. Neville taught that it is not our fleeting thoughts or passively held visualizations alone that impress our desires upon the greater canvas of reality, upon the subconscious mind or the universal consciousness. Rather, it is the emotional charge, the profound feeling conviction that accompanies our imaginal acts, which serves as the true creative agent. This aligns with modern psychological insights into how deeply held beliefs and emotional states profoundly shape our perception and, consequently, our experience of life. Imagine your desire as a specific piece of music. Your thoughts about it might be the lyrics, clear and defined, but it is the feeling, the melody, the harmony, the rhythm, that truly brings the song to life, that resonates through your entire being, that touches the soul of the universe and causes your very cells to vibrate in sympathetic accord. Building upon this foundation, Neville introduced the potent practice he called assuming the desire fulfilled, often referred to as the law of assumption. This is a radical departure from merely wanting or hoping for something. It is the art and discipline of consciously shifting your awareness, your entire inner state, to that of already being the person who has, or experiencing the reality that is, your fulfilled desire. You are not striving to reach it. You are in consciousness operating from that state of fulfillment, here and now. A powerful and well-documented example from Neville's own life illustrates this beautifully. He recounted his intense desire to travel from New York to his family home in Barbados, yet he lacked the financial means or any apparent way to make the journey. Following his own teachings, Neville, night after night, would imagine and feel himself already in Barbados. He wouldn't just see the sights. He would immerse himself in the sensory experience, the feel of the tropical breeze, the scent of the ocean air, the familiar presence of his family around him. He lived, in his imagination and feeling, as though he were already there. Within a remarkably short period, an unexpected series of events unfolded, providing him with a ticket and the means to travel to Barbados, precisely as he had consistently felt and assumed. This isn't just a story. It's a testament to how a spiritual awakening to one's inner creative power can tangibly reshape one's circumstances. How does this practice cultivate the magnetic knowing we've been exploring? By consciously choosing to wear the feeling of the wish fulfilled, by saturating your consciousness with the emotional signature of your desire as an accomplished fact, you organically, naturally, generate that profound inner conviction, that quiet certainty, the magnetic knowing that your desire is indeed your present reality on the level of consciousness. Neville often challenged his students with a powerful invitation. Dare to assume that you are already that which you wish to be and you will be. This daring is not an act of aggressive force, not the exertion of electric will. Instead, it is a courageous, trusting surrender to the creative power of your own inner state, a confident reliance on the magnetic knowing that arises when feeling and imagination are fused into a single, unwavering conviction. It is the understanding that feeling is the bridge, the sacred portal through which the unseen reality of your desire clothes itself in visible, tangible form. Now, we have explored the foundational distinction offered by Manly P. Hall. We have glimpsed the majestic cosmic architecture described by Walter Russell, and we have touched upon the potent emotional engine championed by Neville Goddard. How do these three luminous streams of wisdom converge to offer us a truly comprehensive and unshakable map for magnetic manifestation? Let's pause for a moment and gather these extraordinary threads of wisdom. We have journeyed through some profound territories of mind and cosmos. First, Manly P. Hall illuminated our path by revealing that crucial diagnostic distinction, the difference between the often counterproductive electric thinking, with its effort and doubt, and the profoundly attractive power of magnetic knowing, a state of quiet, internal certainty. He gave us the awareness of where our true power lies. Then, Walter Russell unveiled the magnificent cosmic stage upon which all creation occurs. He depicted a universe of conscious, thinking light, a universe governed by inviolable laws of rhythmic, balanced interchange. He showed us that our internal state of being, our attainment of balance, which is synonymous with knowing, directly influences our interaction with this fundamental creative energy of the cosmos. And finally, Neville Goddard provided us with the master key, the very instrument to consciously tune our inner world. He taught that the power of deeply felt imagination, the discipline of assuming the wish fulfilled, is the practical means by which we cultivate this essential state of knowing and impress our desires upon the responsive fabric of universal consciousness. Now here lies the grand synthesis, where these individual insights coalesce into a unified, potent understanding of creation. Magnetic manifestation, in its fullest sense, unfolds as a resonant chord struck in three harmonious parts. You consciously employ the power of feeling, as guided by Neville Goddard, to vividly inhabit and emotionally saturate yourself with the reality of your desire already fulfilled. This dedicated inner work naturally cultivates and solidifies that unshakable state of magnetic knowing described by Manly P. Hall. Your desire is no longer a hope, but an internal fact. This cohesive, unwavering, and deeply felt state of being then resonates in perfect accord with the universal laws of cosmic balance and rhythmic creation, as unveiled by Walter Russell, naturally and inevitably drawing forth the corresponding physical manifestation. Imagine it as a master tuner, that's you, using the precise tuning fork of deeply felt emotion, as Neville taught, to find the exact resonant frequency of your desire. This specific note, when held with unwavering clarity and the profound conviction of knowing, as Hall described, then vibrates in perfect sympathy with the grand orchestra of the universe, as envisioned by Russell. And the universe, in its inherent nature, must then accompany your sustained, coherent melody with the tangible instruments of circumstance, opportunity, and form. This integrated understanding offers a profound liberation, doesn't it? The exhausting pressure to constantly do, to fight against perceived reality, to manipulate external conditions through sheer electric effort, dissolves. It is replaced by the quiet confidence, the inner peace, that comes from understanding that true creation is an inside-out process. It's not about forcing the universe to comply with your will. It's about consciously, lovingly aligning your inner state with the timeless, immutable principles through which all things are brought into being. Now, with this integrated understanding, let us explore a simple, yet deeply resonant practice. This is not about adding another complicated technique to your repertoire, but rather about cultivating a way of being more aligned, more centered, more magnetically attuned to the reality you choose to experience. We can call this the practice of the inner resonance chamber. The first step is to anchor in stillness. This is our preparation, drawing from Hall's wisdom of quieting the electric mind. Find a few moments, perhaps 2 to 3 minutes, in a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Gently close your eyes. Take a few deep, conscious breaths, and with each exhalation, imagine yourself releasing the mental static, the chatter, the tension of the day. Simply observe any thoughts that arise, like clouds drifting by, without engaging or judging them. Your aim is to create a space of inner quiet, a receptive stillness. This practice, akin to mindfulness or gentle meditation, prepares the chamber. Next, we activate the emotional signature. This is where we engage Neville Goddard's potent insight. For 3 to 5 minutes, choose one specific desire you wish to experience. Now, instead of just thinking about it, allow yourself to step directly into the feeling of that desire already being a complete and present reality. If it's a feeling of profound peace you seek, immerse yourself in that peace now. If it's a sense of vibrant joy, allow that joy to permeate your being now. Let this core emotion, this feeling state of the wish fulfilled, become the dominant vibration within your inner chamber. Feel it fully, without reservation. Then, we expand in cosmic balance. Here we resonate with Walter Russell's principles. For another 3 to 5 minutes, while holding that core feeling, imagine it gently expanding from your heart center, like soft, coherent waves of balanced light, emanating outwards in all directions. See and feel yourself as a serene center of perfect harmony, in a state of graceful, rhythmic interchange with the energy of the entire universe. Recognize that you are not pleading or asking from a place of lack. You are, in this moment, resonating your fulfilled truth into the responsive field of existence. Finally, we rest in silent knowing. This integrates Manly P. Hall's wisdom on magnetic knowing. For the last 2 to 3 minutes, gently release any focused effort. Simply abide in that state of felt resonance, that quiet conviction. Trust that the inner work has been done, that the magnetic field of your fulfilled desire has been established and amplified within your being. There is nothing more to force, nothing more to strive for in this moment. It is a state of being, a silent, powerful knowing. The key to this practice is not about achieving some forced perfection, but about gentle, consistent cultivation. It's about making the quality of your inner state, your inner resonance, a conscious priority. Over time, this practice can help you develop a profound sense of inner peace, a clarity of purpose, and an ever-increasing awareness of your serene, yet powerful, creative nature. It's about nurturing that habit of being the person who already embodies the desired reality. Remember this always: the most profound and lasting manifestation is not born from a noisy battle of wills, but from a silent, resonant dance with the universe. As you consciously cultivate magnetic knowing through the power of deeply felt emotion and a harmonious alignment with universal laws, you step into your inherent role as the quiet yet extraordinarily powerful architect of your personal reality. There's a beautiful understanding that emerges from this journey. The universe does not respond to your loudest demands or your most strenuous efforts, but rather to the clear, unwavering echo of your deepest conviction. May your certainty, your quiet knowing, be your most effective command. And so, I leave you with this gentle inquiry for your continued reflection. What is the core feeling of your deepest, most cherished desire? And how can you begin to consciously inhabit that feeling, even if just for a few sacred moments today? Which of these insights, from Manly P. Hall, Walter Russell, or Neville Goddard, most profoundly expanded your understanding of manifestation? Please share your greatest discovery in the comments below. Your reflections enrich our shared journey. If this deep dive into magnetic manifestation has illuminated your path and brought you a measure of clarity, we invite you to show your support by liking this video. Subscribe to Mystic Sages for more explorations into the depths of ancient wisdom, spiritual awakening, and the unfolding of consciousness, and be sure to activate the notification bell so you don't miss our future offerings. And if you feel this message could transform the perspective of someone you know, please share this video. Help us spread a more profound understanding of the incredible creative power that resides within each and every one of us.